Well, hello and welcome to the first inaugural episode of the We Should Talk More podcast. The podcast where two lifelong friends who don't have much in common try and get a little bit closer. My name is John. I am the director and CEO at Owls 8 Films.
And my name is Josh Coronel, Olympic mountain climber.
All right, how's it going, Joshua? I'm really struggling. I just spilled coffee. I don't think you guys can see that, but I spilled coffee. And I noticed you're not really dressed the way I was looking for. I was trying to go for a bit of a casual, no shoes kind of look.
Oh.
Shorts and I'm wearing mostly blue.
Well, I didn't really get that memo. You said, why don't you dress fashionably, but not less actionably? I wasn't quite sure how to fit that bill. Yeah, I can see some little girl's mother filing a class action suit against you right now.
Yeah, well,
if you're listening in from the podcast, please do not watch the video.
Yeah, if you are watching the video, you can see that I'm showing feet. All right. Well, I guess we'll intro the podcast a little bit, like give like a little rundown of what this is. Basically, me and Josh, we've wanted to have a podcast for a long time. We've known each other since freshman year of high school.
How many years ago was that now?
Almost 8 years.
Has it been?
No, almost 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's been longer.
Almost 10 years.
We started high school 2011.
Mm-hmm. And this coming fall will be 10 years.
That's something to celebrate.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a special episode.
Wow.
Something like that.
Well, a special episode, but we also
just in general,
in general, we should just do something.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We've been best friends. Not immediately, only the last couple years. And then he went to Wisconsin, and it was done. And then he came back last year. And things kind of sparked. There was a bit of a spark there. I don't know.
And here we are. And here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
John has always been into filming, doing Owls 8 Films. So he's always like pulled me in with some of this more creative work, some of this more in front of the camera with a microphone, things that are a little bit out of my comfort zone that I haven't always would have otherwise ever have done. So if it wasn't for John, I probably wouldn't be doing a podcast right now, but this is really, through the experience, it really got me interested in doing something like this. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. So I'm allowing him to be the co-host of this podcast. I was going to say our whole thing is like, we've been friends for all these years, but we also started to realize, that we don't have all that much in common. Like if you put our like resumes side by side, our life resumes would be like, there's really like no reason that they should be best friends. But we found that funny. And we also discovered this when we were like talking about doing a podcast, because like we both had very different like interests, and we're like, do we even have a mutual interest that we could do a podcast about?
We struggled on and on, trying to find an area of alignment between the two of us. And any effort in trying to actually do that, it just was pathetic.
Yeah.
So we ended up saying, well, fuck that. Let's just go forward with the podcast and see what we can make out of that. Yeah. Because we do have to learn a little bit more about each other's interests, really.
Yeah, and I think that's like the whole point of the podcast, because I think like our normal conversations are usually us like sharing things that we're interested in that the other person would have no reason not to know about. Like how Josh mentioned the film stuff. It like if I didn't share that like that interest and brought him in, then I wouldn't know about that. And there's a lot of things that Josh has like taught me or like spoken to me about that if he didn't tell me, I would have no reason to care to look into that. So yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah. And I'd also like to add, I think this has, I guess, broader impacts to that too, where it's not so much just us only getting to know each other, but same goes like across the board, like in any communication with anyone else. Like it's just worth the time just to get a little closer with the other person by opening up your ears and learning a little bit more about the person.
Yeah. So if we ever have guests, it would be someone that we're interested in learning about their unique perspective.
Yeah, actually, Joe Rogan, he's joining us next week.
Yeah, so be on the lookout next week, episode 2 with Joe Rogan. I'm really looking forward to that one. But for this episode, we thought we'd talk about something that is a little more shared.
The only thing we share.
Oh yeah, the main thing that we share that we like discuss often is like things surrounding dating.
Our dating interests.
Our dating interests, yeah. And I'm straight.
Same here. We are best friends trying to get closer.
Yeah.
But I'm straight.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify in case anyone was wondering. But yeah, so when we were discussing talking about dating on the podcast, Josh kind of, you could probably phrase it better, but you were talking about these phases of like dating.
Well, hold on. I am noticing something.
Mm-hmm.
I have a taste in my mouth right now. It's very deep. It's a little bold. And yeah, exactly, John.
What is that? I can.
Wow.
I would be careful about making those noises.
Okay, cut that part out. Okay,
we'll
cut that out. Cut that out. Here, let me see. Wow, it tastes really good. I have
Oh, me too.
yeah. Where was this sourced?
This is Bustelo, Cafe Bustelo, espresso blend.
No, okay.
Made in my made in your old Ninja coffee machine.
Okay. How many ounces?
2 ounces of beans or grounds.
Okay.
I don't know how much liquid.
I think it was actually 2 tablespoons.
Oh.
And however much that converts in ounces, please, someone let us know because I'm not a conversion calculator.
Yeah, it was 2 tablespoons.
But it is a medium body, warm, hot coffee, espresso based drink not made through an espresso method.
No.
But it is using my old coffee machine, a Ninja CF112, with the setting of extra large cup. And I think that's about 12 to 16 inches right there. now I'm fucking up. About? 12 to 16 ounces. My apologies. The coffee. But it is tasting darn good today.
Sorry, I was trying to. We got a soundboard for people that. Well, I guess you can't see it if you're watching, but I tried to hit the soundboard and the volume was lowered, so it didn't work. I was just gonna do that. Anyways.
All right, so back to dating. Yeah. So John was asking about the 3 arcs that I have broken down my dating life into. Now, this might not apply to everyone. This may not very well apply to John, but it certainly applies to me, and it may apply to others who are listening in today. So, arc 1 is very much like this inexperienced, curious person looking to date, to experience what everyone else is doing. He has no experience. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he wants to know what it really is like to date, to have sexual activity, and just just get his first kiss, get his first hug, get his dick a little hard. Because you have no indication, but you hear all your friends talking about it.
Mhm.
So that's what I call arc 1, or how I like really summarize it. Arc 2 now, for me specifically, was more of my long-term serious relationship where I entered into a more traditional type of actual loving stage of my life where I thought this is the one and only. And I should follow much of my preconceived notions of what a relationship should be. But that follows the lines of what you first understand getting into a serious relationships without much experience of what dating is all about. And then me in my third arc, continuing on learning from that experience into unsuccessful casual dating. And that's where I am today.
Well, so I think the way we were thinking about it is that we'll break these into like different sections of stuff we're gonna talk about, or time periods almost. So I think we're gonna start with and these will end up being different episodes entirely, but this first episode will be focused on middle school and what was going. And I guess for you, the first stage that you mentioned was like happening during your middle school like life, because that's like when you're first, exploring like,
Yeah, middle school, you can draw it back a little further just to really consider what was going on in your like preschool, kindergarten mind when it comes to being attracted to somebody of the opposite sex, as far as it went for us.
Oh, do you know who your first crush?
Now, I can't remember my first crush. Not by name or face, but I know I probably had my first one in kindergarten or first grade. I clearly remember first grade being attracted to a girl, and actually, what I do remember vividly across the grade school years, and we were talking about this a little bit before the show, is that each year it was just that one girl.
Yeah, every year
there's that
one girl. You can define the year by a girl.
Exactly. First, second, third grade. Now, I honestly don't remember the names of most of the girls anymore or the faces of most of the girls, but there's this memory in the back of my head of like that year was dedicated to this one girl. So first grade, I think is the first time that I can remember that in the back of my head. And what I do remember too is like this odd situation where she tripped and like she may have touched me, like bristled the hairs of my 7-year-old body.
And were you just like,
oh my God,
that's it? She's the one.
I was madly in love.
I remember my first crush. We were talking about before this that like I was saying that I didn't really think about this, but now everything's coming back to me. My first crush was in kindergarten.
Okay.
I have a story.
Okay.
We used to play this game in kindergarten called Monster, where like it was basically like tag, where there was like someone who was it, but they were the monster and they would chase people around. And this one kid, and I'll say his name was Marco.
You remember his name?
I remember his name, and I remember the girl's name that I liked. Her name was Karina. Marco, he was the monster, and he touched Karina, and he like, I think he might have like, he was a little rough, Marco, for a kindergartner. He like pushed her to the ground.
Oh, he touched her. Because
he was like
he was being aggressive.
Yeah, he was being rough.
He was being mean.
And I was like, bro, that's it.
Okay.
And this is like the first like it was like, I'm pretty sure if you ask my parents, it's like the first week of kindergarten. I like jump on this kid in the playground and I start choking him. Like I just start choking him in the playground. I've definitely never told you.
I feel
this.
like you told me something similar.
Or unless
like,
my parents
I feel like
you
talked about getting into a fight in like your early grade school days.
Yeah. And that was that. There were a couple because I was like not a good kid, but that one, I started choking him and I got in a lot of trouble, and that was like the first week of school. But this girl, like, she was my first crush, and I have vivid memories now of like my dad. We would go to Toys R Us.
Mhm.
There was this day for Valentine's Day. We bought like a Barbie and a rose, like, cause my
For
like
Karina.
for this girl Karina.
Yeah.
And I guess my dad was like more with the idea, but I mean, because my dad is like a very romantic guy himself, so I guess he was like, "Oh, you have to do this if you like this girl. If you have to get her something." So we got her like a doll and a rose, and I went to her house on like Valentine's Day to give this to her.
To her house.
Yeah.
To her house.
Yeah.
How did you know where she lived?
I think I've definitely had gone there for like a birthday party or something, but it's just so odd, like when you look back on it, that like I don't think we called ahead or anything. We just showed up at her house. Like with my dad, like my dad pulled up and a little boy walked up to her door, like rang the doorbell.
Wow.
And then just like presented
This is kindergarten.
Yeah, and I didn't say anything. Like she just like
Took it.
Yeah, and I think her mom was there, and she like, you know,
so
the mom
cute.
thought it was so sweet, and then I just like said bye. I was like, goodbye.
Oh my God. That's incredible. Well, like you wouldn't imagine anyone doing that today.
No, yeah. I mean, if you did something like that today, it'd be super like creepy.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call
I
it
don't know.
creepy, not at that age.
Oh yeah, not at that age.
Because you're thinking, well, these kids are 5 years
Yeah.
old.
I mean,
5,
like
6
buying a
years
girl a
old.
Barbie right now.
Well, at what age?
Like our age.
Our age, yes, our age, definitely. But I'm even thinking like parents with kindergarten children.
Yeah.
I mean, children in kindergarten,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have this thought of, well, let me take my son or daughter, well,
Yeah.
my son over to this daughter's house or this girl's house. My God. And deliver this gift of what was it again?
It was like a doll and a
It was
rose.
a doll.
Yeah.
It was
I think it was a
a
Barbie. or
Barbie
something
doll
like
and
that,
a rose.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know where they live. You'd probably call them on Zoom instead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now with
With how things
a
are.
virus.
Yeah. It's settling down. Things are getting pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
That's why I
looking
took
a
my
lot-
mask off earlier.
It's looking a
Yeah.
little bit more
I
positive.
felt comfortable because before I was wearing my mask.
Yeah, I noticed. I walked in here without my mask.
Yeah.
My mask is all the way back in my car.
So back to you were talking about a girl in first grade, but she's the one that brushed up on you.
Oh man, I remember very few details with this story.
So is she not like, is there anything else noteworthy about her? Did she like strike a chord in your heart in any other way?
I'm sure she did
Mm-hmm.
at that time,
Mm-hmm.
but those memories are gone.
Oh.
Unfortunately, like it didn't stick enough that I can actually remember her, or I don't know her name remotely.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I can't even remember how she looks.
Really?
Any of that.
Wow.
Well, I think maybe part of the difference here is the students that I went to school with, I didn't carry on to like middle school or high school with.
Oh.
And you did. Is that
Well,
right?
well, like the ones that I was in like pre-K and everything with, we stayed all the way till 8th grade.
Yeah.
Like the people that I was in kindergarten with, unless they left the school, we like graduated
Yeah,
together.
no, I moved from New York to New Jersey
Mhm.
in the middle of 3rd grade. So many of the people that I knew from kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, I don't remember all that well.
Oh, wow.
I remember like 2 people
Mm.
by name. There was a Kevin and there was a Joseph. No girls.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin and Joseph from well, I had Mr. Tablet in 2nd grade. So if I had Mr. Tablet with you in Queens, New York, here I am, Josh Cornell.
Making it big.
New days.
It was your 3rd grade when you started school in New Jersey.
Yep. And now I remember everything.
Okay, yeah.
Now the
that's
pictures
what I'm
come
trying
back.
to get to, because that's like a different experience too, because you're coming in as the new kid.
Yeah.
So you're the new kid Were there many
third
other
grade.
were there any other new kids like coming in third grade? Or?
No, I don't think so.
So you were the new kid.
I think I was the only new kid in my class.
So how was that?
I don't think it was all that different. As long as, I mean, as much as I can tell. From my perspective,
you're a chill guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this time I was like a fat little boy. I was fat up until 6th, 7th grade. So I wasn't all that. I mean, how much can a third grader really be attractive? But I wasn't what you'd consider the attractive.
I've seen photos of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of me. In 3rd grade.
No.
Okay. I wasn't an attractive 3rd grader for the 3rd grade girls, at least. So, but I do remember the attractive girl the girl that caught my eye that year. Her name was Christy. And she found out I was attracted to her through the words of some of my good friends. And she wasn't attracted to me. So like after that, it got extremely awkward.
Yeah.
Up until like maybe 6th, 7th grade, because
Really?
these are people that these are people that I continued.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the same school district, and I was in the same school district until high school. And I remember vividly, like anytime that I came in like in her presence, like I completely shut down. Just that experience of knowing that this girl didn't like me.
Wow.
It like
Really
I wanted to be quiet. I didn't want her to know I was there.
Wow.
So Christy, if you're listening now, just to let you know, yeah, I was really attracted to you back then. Oh, you lost me for a moment.
So,
but that was
did you ever like vocalize to her that you liked her, and like was there like an actual rejection, or it was just like you?
It was word of my friend, but I do remember we were in line one day in like the cafeteria, and one of my friends said it out loud. Something of the sort, where at least we're both in each other's presence. And she said something like, I know, like I know he likes me, but like it's not carrying it on, not interested, not anything like that, you know. And then I'm like, 3rd grade fat little Joshie. He was really struggling to accept that.
Yeah. No, did you ever get like some sort of like redemption moment where like years later you heard of her, like she added you on Instagram and she's like, damn, Josh is a baddie now?
I don't think so. It was probably more so the other way around still.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
But I will say, I remember when I was first getting onto Facebook, it was the greatest resistance to press that add button on her. You know those people.
Oh, like you didn't want to?
Yeah. Not that I didn't want to. I so badly wanted to.
Oh, but you were resisting.
It was just the hardest thing. It's like those people that you know you're not friends with and you don't feel like adding them. But you could press that add button easily because you know both know each other. Yeah. But you're just waiting for maybe they'll add you first. And you'll be happy to add them back. You have no issues adding them back. It's just that you don't want to do it yourself. Yeah. Well, this was very much that situation, but more so to the extent that, well, I was rejected by her, and I so badly wanted to add her on to be my friend on Facebook. Man, this whole like breakdown of my story is like very pathetic.
I know. Man, that kind of it only got worse. So like I did have a crush. She was my first grade crush.
Okay.
And she was one, because you reminded me of this, like I added her like much later on Facebook, and this was like a crush too, that it was not like mutual. Like it was like in first grade, and I remember my parents told our teacher that I had a crush on her, and my teacher like put us to sit next to each other, but I'm like on my parents' request, because like I wanted to be like near her so bad. Like it was embarrassing, but
like you'd go back home to the dinner table asking your mom and dad, hey, there's this girl named what's her name?
Her name was Ani.
Ani. There's this girl named Ani that I'm madly attracted to. Could you like go to my teacher pretty please?
I mean, I don't know if I said it that eloquently, but along those lines. But something funny is like in around 8th grade when I ended up on Facebook, she was one of the first people that I was like looking for because she had left our school after 1st grade.
Oh.
But she like I guess because you're curious because you're like, oh, I remember her. I don't know what happened to her because like when you're that young, when people leave school, you never see or hear from them ever again.
Yeah.
So I added her and I'm like, she's like, for an 8th grade time, she's hot. Like she actually like stayed because she was, we were 1st grade. So she was just like cute, but she was like hot. Like I was like, damn. And I was still like a little fat boy as well. But I sent her a message and I'm like, I need to pull it up. But it's the most like embarrassing message. Like looking back, and I'm like, hey girl, I used to have a crush on. What's up?
Did you ever own up to that with her like back in 1st grade?
I don't know if she ever knew, but it was one of the like I have like my parents have photos of us at like pool parties like that. Like our parents would make us take photos together. Like I think she probably knew. I don't think she ever liked me, but I was down bad.
Yeah.
I was down bad 1st grade. I was down bad 8th grade. And I'll tell you what, I'm currently down bad for this girl. She's still very like right now. So I said that she was like, she became hot 8th grade standards. I'm pretty sure she's like a model now. I have to find her Instagram. I'll send it to you. Like,
what was
like
her name again?
Her name is Ani.
Ani.
Yeah. She glowed up, or she I guess continued to glow.
Yeah.
But she never wanted me. So Ani, if you're listening to this, I don't know.
Wow, a lot of people are really gonna be like messaging us.
Yeah, I know. That's
people.
a good point of the podcast. I think that we're getting out of it.
Yeah. Really bringing back the old like childhood lovers.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. That was 1st grade, you said?
It was 1st grade when with that girl.
Yeah,
she
and
was like,
carried on.
And she was the 1st
grade,
grade girl. Yeah.
Did you have a 2nd grade girl?
I think I did.
You don't have too many stories.
Nothing noteworthy.
3rd grade?
3rd grade. Yeah, there was this girl. Her name was I'll say her name. Her name was Yami Emily. She was the first crush I remember vividly. Like we would write notes to each other, like heavy, like writing notes, like I think you're cute or whatever. Like I like you kind of notes. And it was reciprocated as well. And she was another one in 3rd grade. I'm pretty sure I brought her a gift as well with my dad to her house. So there's like an ongoing thing of my dad trying to like, make
trying to help you out,
make me more of a romantic. Yeah. Doing stuff like that. But yeah, nothing too crazy there. So there was a story you guys don't know. I'm getting up to close the door, but you guys don't know because, me and Josh discussed this off the podcast or offline. But my major story from middle school was in 5th grade. I was thinking about it more, and this girl was actually here for 5th and 6th grade, and then she left. So I knew her for 2 years. But there was this girl in 5th grade. She was a new girl. And at this point, like everyone in my school, we've known each other for all these years. So when you get a new girl, you're like, yo, this looked different than what I'm used to.
Oh, that was definitely me coming in 3rd grade from Queens, New York to New Jersey.
They were like, this boy different.
Exactly, man. Except Christy.
Yeah. So we had a couple of new people that year, but this one girl, her name was Rebecca. She was like the one that I was like head over heels with. And that's when I wasn't on Facebook at the time, but we were using AOL on AIM. Was AIM on AOL? What is AIM?
It was provided by AOL.
Yeah, provided by AOL.
AOL had like a ton of different services, but one of their like products or services was AIM.
AIM, yeah. So we had each other there, and we would write like romantic things to each other all the time. And I was telling Josh, like, we would like say stupid stuff like, oh, like I love you, like crazy stuff. And it was like it was just hilarious because I think about it too, and like we would write stuff like that and then go to school, and like I wouldn't really talk to her.
Yeah, the online communication was
Yeah.
completely different than what you'd have in
Yeah.
person.
Which is just so funny thinking about it. But yeah, like it was nothing nothing like really happened between us. I think the most like that happened, we were in the bus and I was in the seat behind her and I was like holding her hand like over the seat.
Uncomfortably.
Yeah, uncomfortably holding her hand like over the
breaking
seat.
your arm just to
Just
get
to
the
have the
touch,
touch,
just to
yeah.
get the touch.
And yeah, but this was the time where like everyone is like I don't know if people were dating, but they were like doing more stuff. So
This was 6th grade,
it was like 5th and 6th grade.
5th and 6th grade.
Yeah,
You
when I
kinda
was
combine
like
the two.
yeah, because yeah, I remember she was there. She left 6th grade, so like this is just going on that whole time.
Yeah, in the 5th, 6th grade mindset or experience, this is perhaps where the conversations around friend groups are really picking up about like, oh, I'm dating this girl,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I'm seeing this girl, especially with online stuff now too.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I feel like it's definitely crazier now.
Mm-hmm.
I know back then. Well, back then, like the biggest thing was just like kissing somebody. At least for me. I don't know how you
Mhm.
felt about that.
Oh yeah, no, I so badly wanted to
Yeah,
kiss
like to
someone
me,
because,
like the
there's
first
all
kiss
this
was
pressure.
like, yeah, and because also all your friends are talking about doing it, and like you don't know if they're lying or not, but you have all these guys like, oh, like I kissed this girl like the other day, and like you in that age, you believe anything anybody tells you.
They really
Yeah.
like have done everything from
Yeah,
A to Z.
yeah.
All these guys.
No, yeah,
in
'cause
every class
even-
except you.
Yeah, because even in this time, I had people in my grade talking about like having sex. Like I don't think any of them were, but they knew what sex was, and like they knew. I don't know.
This is like
This
we
age,
discover
this
what.
age,
Yeah, this is the age where people discover
Yeah.
what sex is, and so now they all want to be the ones who have had sex.
Yeah, but for me, I remember I at that age I thought that was so gross. Like sex, I was like, no, I don't want that. I just want to have a first kiss. To me, it was just a first kiss. Like I didn't care about like anything else. And then I saw
You're a sweet little boy.
yeah, I was a sweet little boy. So I told Josh this story, but I'll like rehash it. With this girl Rebecca, we're messing each other. Now it's like, like a year already. I've known her. Like we're in like 6th grade, and I knew she was leaving. She was going to move to Arizona, and we were talking about like having a kiss like before she left. And it was like a big thing for me. I was like super nervous, and she lived very close to me, where we lived so close that we used to like walk, like meet each other halfway at our houses, just like hang out when she like walked her dog or whatever. So we planned a day that she was going to walk her dog and we were going to meet halfway and we were going to have our first kiss. And so the day comes, I go, I meet her, we like chat for like a little bit, and then I hugged her, and then
How long was the hug?
it was like very brief.
Okay.
No, I guess it was a longer hug because it was like knowing she was leaving. But then no kiss. I like turned around and left. And then the funny part about the story is that like right after I had like basketball practice, and then I go and all these guys are like asking what happened, and of course I'm like, I kissed her, and like it's all this like hype around it. But it never happened, and I revealed this to Josh.
You can't disappoint the boys. You can't disappoint the boys.
Yeah, especially at that
Not
age.
at that age.
Yeah. So that was like the big lie for me. That
You're
like,
gassing it up.
Yeah.
You have to like keep with the steam.
Yeah. So I went like a couple years saying
about that.
Yeah, lying about that. And I guess I don't need to get into when I had my first kiss, because that's like high school, so that I can save that for then. But I will say, like, from that point, like going into high school, the first kiss was still the most important thing for me to get, especially now that I had this lie. So now
That
it's
you're
like
living with.
yeah, it's like the pressure of like, oh, I actually need to do it now, because now it's just like pathetic that like I'm talking all this shit with people, but like I didn't
actually have done it. Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, that was so. I guess turning it onto you, because with this girl, I would say she was the first I was like holding hands. Like we didn't kiss, but talking about kissing. So like when did that start for you? And like that, if it happened,
When did I have like my first like hand holding or hugging.
Yeah, when it got
experience,
like physical.
or actually more of like online talking, like and like interested in each other.
Well, I guess both. So I guess start with the online stuff because I don't know like when.
Yeah, what happens
Yeah.
first? Yeah, I think they both happen around the same time.
Mhm.
And these are stories that are just coming back to me now that we've been like going through it step by step. So 4th and 5th grade, somewhere, I'll start with this quick one.
Yeah.
This quick story. I remember the first time I hugged someone, hugged another girl. It seems like you got this stuff out of the way real early, but I didn't hug a girl until 5th grade.
No, I wasn't thinking about that, but I do remember like not hugging people, like feeling too awkward to hug people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, completely. You're not looking to like go around your classes in 4th or 5th grade and hugging anymore.
And did you ever have like those guys in class that were like the guys that were hugging everybody?
No, not really.
I had like some suave like guy.
Did you?
Yeah, it would be like the cool guy that he would hug
Really?
like, every girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I had that. Not in my class.
Damn, that could have been you.
Could have been, but it wasn't. But I did have one hug. The last day of school, one girl was walking around, hugging everyone, saying goodbye, and I made it in. I made it in. She gave me a hug goodbye. Never forgot that moment. Never forgot that moment. That was like the highlight of my year. I was so happy, and so like never again would I let a year go by, last day of school, without hugging a girl. You know, last day of school is when you're saying bye to everyone. This is my moment now. Like, if I don't hug anyone all throughout a school year, at least let me get a hug at the end of the school year.
Yeah.
You know, I think part of the pressure was that my brother, also he was like 2 years above me or 3 years above me in school, and he would tell me these stories. He would tell me stories about, it was like his last day of school in 7th grade, and he had all these bad girls coming to him, hugging him.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's incredible. I didn't have any hugs. And then he will tell me about his first girlfriend. He'll tell me about his first kiss. He'll tell me about like his first everything.
Yeah.
And this is me like, well, now I got to be my brother. I got to do this before he does. Or before what I knew was his first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I never thought about that because, well, for people who don't know, like I have an older sister, so like we like never had those discussions, but I guess that's like, how much do you think your brother like helped form like your perception of what was like?
A lot. I think it shaped what my thoughts were in like what I should be doing sexually. But you're saying in like
in a competitive way.
Yeah, in a competitive way. It was 100% a competitive way.
Oh wow!
I found out that he had his first kiss or his first girlfriend in 8th grade. I wanted to do it before that.
Yeah.
Found out when he first had sex. I wanted to beat him to it.
Oh my god!
Everything like that. Everything. Anyway, so back to that competition. We'll come back to the competition, but like we're jumping a few steps here. So we were talking about online dating, or not online dating, but talking to somebody online. So there was one of my friends who lived down the block from me. His name was Alfredo. Chicken Alfredo. Alberto. So Alberto, he lived down the corner from me, and we used to walk to school together because we lived like 2 blocks away from school, and we were pretty close friends. And he shares with me, sorry about that. He shares with me that he's dating a girl, and then I don't know too much about it. I don't know if it's true or not. And then he introduces me to her. So that sets the stone right there that it sets the stone right there that it's actually true. And then next thing I know, he tells me I'm dating 2 girls, and they both know. And I'm like, what is going on? And then here I am later that day talking to him and his 2 girlfriends.
Wow.
Incredible. Like, how do you do this?
And they're both like just down with it.
Completely okay with it.
That's crazy.
Completely okay with this. But hear this out. They both leave our school district, but I have their phone numbers. And we start talking like almost all the time after school. I'll be on the phone with them now.
Both of the girls?
Both of the girls. You know how you dial a number and then it was like,
To add somebody?
Actually, I have no clue how you do it anymore, but there's a way to add a phone number when it was
Mhm.
like the T9 mobiles.
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah.
I had a flip phone with an antenna back then. I was off the house phone, so I didn't have to use the house phone anymore, but I did
Wow.
have a flip phone with an antenna.
Wow.
And so I would call them, and then we'll merge calls, and then we'll talk for like hours.
Mhm.
And then we started dating. I started dating Anna. There was Anna and Carol.
So you started dating Anna, but your friend Alfredo, where is he not dating them anymore?
So I honestly don't remember where Alfredo went at this point.
Let's keep calling him Alfredo.
Yeah, I like Alfredo better. Alfredo. I think he left the school district as well. Like they all just so happened to leave our school district.
Oh wait, but did those girls leave too?
They
And you
did
just
as well.
kept in touch with them.
I kept in touch with them. I had their number, and I would call them all the time.
Mhm. Were you guys texting also, or was that not like a?
So I wasn't allowed to text because my parents didn't pay for texting.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have any texting capabilities on my phone. But I did have voice hours or whatever you call it at that time.
Was it like minutes?
Yeah.
Were
I
you-
did have like a limited number of minutes.
Limited?
A limited, yeah.
Unlimited?
No, limited.
Oh, so you were using what you had
Yeah.
just to talk to these girls?
Yeah, exactly.
gotcha.
Well, like it was either talking to these girls or talking to my mom when I'm on a walk back home from school.
Yeah, gotcha.
So like every day after school, I just call my mom,
Yeah.
let her know, hey, I'm out of school. I'm walking back home.
Gotcha.
So I remember talking to them a lot, and at some point I just started dating Anna. I don't know how it happened, but it wasn't really actually dating. It was just like, hey, long distance relationship, we're dating, cutesy type of thing. And I remember one time she was actually close in town, and close in town is probably like one town away, but like that's so far away as
Yeah.
like a sixth grader, at this time or fifth grader.
Yeah.
But she was close to being in town, and I tell my dad somehow, and he's like, "Oh, once we get back home, I remember we were out at an event for like some family thing, and he's like, if you, excuse me, if you need to go see this girl, like I'm driving you there. I'll drive you there. I'll drop you off. You see her, you spend your day with her, and just let me know when you need me to pick you up."
Nice.
I was like, 100%, bet, let's go. It just never happened, actually.
Oh.
It may have not worked out for her. It may have not worked out for me. I don't remember exactly what happened, but we never ended up seeing each other. And I don't think I ever ended up seeing her in person ever again since like those times that I was there with Anna, Carol, and Alfredo.
Yeah. But you guys were dating.
We were dating.
Yeah. I
We were
gotcha.
dating.
Yeah.
But dating.
Yeah. Like me and Rebecca, we were dating.
Yeah, pretty much.
We just didn't kiss.
Yep, nope, nothing actually happened there. But then I quote unquote dated again with this girl named Risha, and that was
When
in
is this?
seventh grade.
7th grade.
So in seventh grade, actually, I used to sit next to her in science class, and I remember like we would text after school and everything, and like things were cool. And at some point, I don't remember how it came up, but I asked her out, or she asked me out. I probably asked her out. And we were considered boyfriend girlfriend. Now I remember coming into school the next day. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? I sit right next to her in science class. How am I supposed to handle this situation? Am I supposed to like touch her, hold her hand, like poke at her like leg?
Yeah.
I have no clue how to handle this.
Yeah.
Do I address it? Do I talk about it? And so I come into class that day and do absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And then later that day, she broke up with me.
I didn't see that coming. Oh, wow.
Yep.
That sucks.
See, look, if you date somebody and you don't like give them a hug, you don't say hi, babe, or any of that, like you don't address that you're dating now, they break up with you.
But I guess
real
that's how
quick.
it,
They get rid of you.
yeah, that's how it goes. Like in 8th grade, or like that 8th, 7th, 8th grade, where like people, you were together and then you weren't. Like,
Well, it's like you message them on social media or you message them over text message, and then At this point, I think I started getting like a limited number of text
Yeah.
messages that I can use for my data plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it just ended up going south real quick. But at this time too, I wanted to mention I started using MySpace, and I was using I was using AIM a lot too.
Mhm.
But I would what I actually did with AIM is I watched this YouTube video once, right? And this is incredible. Hear this out. I went on YouTube to watch a video of a AIM user logging into AIM and receiving hundreds of messages instantly, like just signing in, and like everyone wants to talk to them.
How?
I don't know. So I was like, let me pause frame by frame, gather all these names and add them on AIM. And like dead ass.
And you're just messaging random people?
Message random people, and like I carried conversation with some of these people for like months or however long.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one girl I never met, have no clue where they live.
Do you even know she was a girl?
I sure hope she was. I can't remember her name. It may have been like Lizzie or something. And I spoke to her for months, maybe a year or so, on AIM, like every day after school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I get her phone number and I call one day, or we agreed to talk on the phone. I called, and I remember like I didn't want my family knowing that I was on the phone, so I don't have any privacy in my house. I didn't have a bedroom or any of that.
Yeah.
I had a living room couch that I used to sleep on at this time, and I just was laying on that couch, crawled up in like a fetal position, facing away from the from anyone seeing me, like hiding there.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn on my phone, and like after like my heart's beeping like crazy, I finally choose to actually dial the number. And I get on the phone, and she picks up, and we don't say anything. It's just, we're too scared. Either of us are too scared to say a single word. And then we get off the phone.
That's it.
That's it.
So you never heard her?
I may have gotten a hello.
Wow.
I actually do not remember.
Wow.
But this was probably before the Anna and Carol day.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my experience on AIM.
Mm-hmm.
My experience on MySpace. My brother started dating a girl in 8th grade, and he had that 8th grade girl and her older sister on MySpace. And I used to message those two girls all the time on MySpace. I had my DMs filled with my brother's girlfriends. But that's about it. I do remember there was this one girl, and I think you may have a similar story or two, where this girl says, hey, on MySpace, what you'd have is a profile page, and people could leave comments, like public comments on your profile page for everyone else to see. And like the more comments you have on your page, the more poppin' you are, the more popular you are. And also, if you don't know, MySpace limits you to choosing your top friends. It's the best thing ever. You'd have
Is that like on display on your
it's
profile?
on display.
Oh.
So you select your top 7 to 8 friends. And whoever makes it on that list are like your best friends. But like if you don't make it on that list, then like some people might be a little salty about
It's
that.
like the thing that Snapchat had, where you have like the top like snappers. But that wasn't like public.
But it wouldn't be public. This is actually like
public,
displayed on your page.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so this might like ruin friendships right here.
Yeah, wow.
If you're not included on my top friends, then somebody might get a little upset about this. Yeah. If like a boyfriend might not include his girlfriend on that page, that girlfriend might like come after him.
Type of way.
Exactly. Yeah. So I remember this one girl, she messages me and she says, hey, leave a comment on my page.
Yeah.
I'm like, bet. So like I'll leave something like really provocative.
Yeah.
You looking sexy. Something like that. And I'm like, I'm expecting a great response. I'm expecting her to message me back on MySpace and to likely leave a comment on my page. Never again do I ever hear from her. She just wanted that clout on her page.
Just having someone else, putting something. Yeah. Yeah, this is getting like more into like high school for me, but I have like so many situations where that happened on Facebook where someone's like, "Oh, like my new picture." I'm like, "Okay, of course." I think once someone asked me to like and comment on it.
Mm.
And yeah, you would do it. Like if some hot girl messaged you to do that, of course you would do it. But then it's like then you try to continue the conversation and they just don't want
Yeah,
to.
I think you were showing me your
Yeah.
Facebook messages. This
Yeah.
happened, and then you say hi.
Yeah. And then
No response.
Yeah.
2 months later, hi.
Yeah.
No response.
I was thinking when we do the second part like for high school stuff, I might pull up because I have a ton of screenshots. 'Cause I was gonna do a video about it. I might pull some up and read
Them
them
off. That would be perfect.
Funny. Yeah.
So that was MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace is gone.
And you were using MySpace in
I think like 5th, 4th grade,
okay,
maybe. Oh, and
but all the way up to like 8th grade, right? Or no?
oh, maybe up to 7th.
Oh.
Because I remember my mom was trying to set me up with the daughter of her coworker.
Mhm.
Her name was Jennifer, I think, and my mom's coworker gives my number to the daughter. We're completely different school districts. And she messages me, and we just start chatting.
Mhm.
And she tells me she's on. I asked her for her MySpace. She's like, I'm not on MySpace, but I have Facebook.
Mhm.
I'm like, ew, Facebook? Who the fuck use Facebook?
Yeah.
I've made a Facebook account because I wanted to make an account for everything. I wanted to
Yeah.
be cool and shit like that.
Mhm.
I think I made a Twitter account back then, if Twitter was around yet.
Yeah. Same.
But I just made it just for the purposes of making
Just
it,
to
not
have
to
it,
actually use it.
Yeah.
So I had a Facebook, but I never added any friends or anything like that on this. And this is like the first person I ever interacted with who actually is saying that they have a Facebook. I'm like,
Mhm.
incredible. What? I think this was 6th grade. I
Yeah.
think this was 6th grade because I think when I got into 7th grade, people started adopting it a lot more. But that's when I started using Facebook.
Mhm.
And I probably started to stop using MySpace as much, and then MySpace just is gone.
Yeah.
But I think yeah, I can't remember any stories until we transitioned to 7th grade. But how about you?
For what?
Where are you right now in your life, in your love life?
Right now?
No. In 6th or 7th grade.
6th or 7th grade? Yeah. Well, I feel like after 6th grade was my dog just came back in. After 6th grade with that girl
Rebecca.
I feel like nothing really happened after that. Like there were girls that I had crushes on that they were like the one. But yeah, I feel like so this is like the time in my life I think where I start to get a lot more shy. Which I guess is something interesting to talk about because all the way leading up to like 5th grade, I had like a core group of friends, but I never ran into a situation where I noticed that I was like shy because we had such a small school where you knew everybody. So it's like I never had to talk to new people and I never cared to talk to new people. But like I remember like there were situations like 7th, 8th grade where we had parties like with other schools. Or, like we went to visit high schools and it was like multiple 8th grade classes all together and like I knew people in my grade, my friends were talking to girls from other schools. I was like, what are they doing? Like, that's crazy. Like, why are they talking to this girl from this other school? Like, what could they possibly be talking about? Like, I don't know. It was just so weird to me, like, to do that. And I never really felt like talking to people from other schools or like
Was that like people like a lot of those conversations? Do you think a lot of it was carried over Facebook as well, or those connections
I think
were
so,
made over
because
Facebook?
this was like and this is something too that was happening like 7th, 8th grade. I wasn't on Facebook till like after I graduated 8th grade.
Yeah, you really missed out.
So yeah, I had a lot of people, and I think a lot of my friends, like one of our close friends, I won't say his name. I'll say his name. His name is Josh. He was dating a girl, I think in 8th grade, that he met, and she was
another Josh,
school.
by the way.
Yeah, a different Josh. And she
should definitely clarify that.
yeah, and she was like from a completely different school. Like I think she was from the area, but like there was no I don't know how he even knew her. It was just through Facebook. Like it was just like you know, well, I guess Facebook helped like make that connection, but it's just like there's so many people that were making connections with people from other schools that like I didn't start doing that until the end of 8th grade when I made Facebook.
Well, yeah, no. Now that you say
Yeah.
that, now I remember it was around 7th grade, I think, that I made a connection with somebody from a different school, and like a girl in Roselle Park, and like I hung out with her and her friends once.
Wow.
And like she would flirt with me, but like we never actually ever did anything. Now, 7th grade, I'll say, is when I first started getting on Facebook, and that's when I started doing those like my status for a raid and like my status for, I mean, like my post for a TBH, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is when I started really like messaging people outside of the MySpace platform. I was already doing that plenty of times back then. I got into social media a little too early, apparently.
Probably not. I think I was definitely like my parents didn't want me to, but everyone I knew was on it.
Oh, well, my parents didn't want me to either.
But you just did it.
They didn't know. We used to call MySpace, and I think I told you this once or twice. Do you remember like what we used to call MySpace? Me and my brother?
No.
Chicken noodle soup.
I never
At the kitchen table, we would say chicken noodle soup.
This is so weird.
I was on chicken noodle soup earlier today, and Marissa sent me a message about maybe I wouldn't be that explicit.
Yeah.
I think that's too much detail. I was on chicken noodle soup, and I yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So me and my brother would have like conversations at the dinner table about MySpace without ever letting my parents know that we were on MySpace, because that was a big red flag, a big no. We weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But we did it. Also like things like WeWorld.
Oh yeah, I was doing that.
But as soon as your parents find out that you're like interacting with other people, that's again a big no, because you're going to be interacting with online creeps, some crazy psychotic people. If they find out where you live, you're going to die instantaneously. All that jazz. So, and this is like early like social media days where like our parents are unfamiliar with how social media is. No one knows how it is. No one knows what it's going to become. Completely different world back then. So 8th grade, I actually start having more luck.
Like on social media or just in general?
In both.
Oh.
Both. Well, so like I lost a lot of weight 6th to 7th grade. So actually that's when I started like people actually I think started thinking that I was a little more attractive. 6th grade, I think I got bullied a lot.
But you're getting confident.
Now I'm getting a little bit more confident.
Yeah.
Things are picking up. Now I'm looking good. I became about a chess grandmaster around this time.
At this point is when like I got my braces and like I was like getting as fatter as I ever was. So like my life was just going down, but you're going up with
this is actually when I'm hitting my prime. 7th, 8th grade is when Prime Josh.
Wow.
And then it's all down from there. Then it's all down from there. Wait until next episode.
Yeah.
But come 8th grade, once I'm established with my confidence, I remember sitting in first period. Now we're like moving class to class how it works at my school, each period. And I'm sitting first period next to Jasmine, I'll say her name. And I was attracted to her. It was like, this is like the emo goth period stage that people are going through their life. At least I was starting to like pick that up a little bit too myself. And she was like the prime emo girl that you'd find like in the school in your grade. Like she was that one. And God, man, I was like, if I had to call a girl out for that year of like who I thought was attractive, that was her. I was like, okay, Jasmine, let's go. And she's sitting right next to me. And then one day, maybe 2 weeks into the school year, I see her right on her page. Her name, heart, a guy's name. And that guy's name was not my name. So I was completely devastated. I was like, you know what? Josh, confident Josh at this point. I'm bad now.
You're baddie Josh.
I'm bad. I was like, you can't let this get to you. Fuck that. Jasmine really lost her opportunity. I'm going out into the hallway now, point at the first girl I see and tell her she's mine. Yeah. Exactly what I did. Started dating this girl from someone I don't even remember how I even knew her. But almost immediately after I started talking to her, we started dating.
Wow.
And up until this point, I still never have kissed a girl. But I knew my brother had his first kiss in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this competitive edge to me. This is why it's becoming real serious right now. My brother told me he had his first kiss like the middle of 8th grade.
Yeah.
When he started dating that girl that I was talking to on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in 5th grade, my brother was in 8th grade. That was about middle of 8th grade. He started dating her and he had his first kiss.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can't go to the middle of 8th grade without my first kiss. And I can't go to the middle of 8th grade without my first girlfriend. So that's why serious girlfriends, actual girlfriend, like the previous girlfriends, they don't count yet.
Mm.
And so that happened. I point this girl out. I see her. We start dating. Forget about Jasmine. She screwed up. She started dating some weirdo. And she missed out on me. And now I don't know how to make the move to kiss. So I'm walking home with her. And she's actually walking me home.
Yeah.
As romantic as she is. And we go to the corner of my house. And my buddy, Larry, just so happens to cross paths with us at this very moment. And he doesn't know, but he just finds out we're dating.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, y'all, if you guys are dating, I want to see you kiss. That did it. No stress. My heart was going crazy at this point, like thinking about having to make this kiss. You know, you back in 5th grade going down the block to hug your girl for and say like your goodbye and like give her a kiss goodbye, and it never happened. That was just about to happen to me if it wasn't for Larry. Larry saved me that day. And then we broke up like next week.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a short-lived relationship, but that was my whole spiel all of 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
To like be in and out of relationships throughout that experience.
Yeah. You know, I just remembered I had a girlfriend in 8th grade.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Who?
Her name was Shirley. I hope she doesn't watch this.
Okay.
I just remembered because it was one of those things where it was just like you're like texting and you become like boyfriend and girlfriend, and then like a week later you just like end things. But I will say, like, I guess because we're getting to the end of like 8th grade, and I remember like one of the reasons why I didn't want to talk to her anymore was because this is when I got on Facebook, and like I know I'm going to Roseville Catholic, which is where we meet, and I'm seeing all these girls that are gonna be my future classmates, and I'm like, I can't be. At this time, I'm like, I can't be tied down. There's so many girls. It's just like you're, in your mind, you're like, bro, I'm
going to high school. All these girls are going to be available.
This girl was a 7th grader. Well, I guess she was going to become an 8th grader at my middle school, but she was like the grade under me. So I'm like, I can't be tied down. I'm like hot shit. I haven't kissed a girl yet, but nobody knows that. So
all the basketball players, they know that John had his first kiss like a couple years ago. Like he beat them all to it. So you're gonna like only like be rising up from here on.
So I think that might be like an interesting place to end on, like right, like because I feel like the summer going into freshman year is like part of it. So like we can pick that up next time, but I kind of want to know like where was your mindset? Let's say like you graduated 8th grade. Where's your mindset right now going into high school, like relationship wise? What are you thinking?
Continuing all the bad activity I was doing. I was, because there was probably like 5-6 more relationships after that first relationship
but
that finally happened.
All like similar like
situations to an extent. Like one was like 2 days, another one was like 5 days, another one was like 3 months. There was one that was probably like a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks. At that time, probably like my longest before that 3-month one was like a 3-week relationship. There was like a 2-day one that like, this was like probably the hottest one that I dated. Looking back at it at the end of 8th grade, looking back at it. it lasted 2 days. We were at, actually, she was one grade below me, so she was in 7th grade, and that was a different school, but like I was connected to her from when I was in 7th grade, and she was in 6th grade. And I didn't kiss her at first.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up seeing each other like once when we dated, and it wasn't until the summer thereafter I had my first kiss with her, and my God, that was like one of my like highlights of my life right there.
Yeah.
At that time. But we didn't do anything else after that. Like we kind of didn't like really have too many more opportunities to see each other, and then I went into Roseville Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that, and I dated another girl that I met at a public library that I used to always go to. So there was this.
You have so many girlfriends,
bro. There's and yeah, I didn't tell you all this.
I know.
There were so many in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I was in the public library once, and there was this cutie, like this white cutie, that she's going to that Catholic school that's down the block from the public high school, and I'm going to a public school in Roseville at this time. And she comes over to my group asking, "Hey, could someone help me grab this book? It's too high up for me."
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, me,
Tallest guy in the group.
tallest guy, 5'4". He's like, "Yeah, I got you, babe." So I get up and I go over and I help her out, and then we split ways. But you know, we passed a phone number. So I wrote my phone number down, or she wrote her phone number down somehow, and like, or one of our friends went over to her friend group and said like, "Hey, Josh, he likes you," or the other way around. I don't remember how it happened. And then I remember exchanging phone numbers, and I started seeing her a couple times thereafter. Now this is the fun part. I started dating this. The last relationship I was in 8th grade, I started dating this girl that was a 3-month relationship, and around this is like she was madly in love with me. Like she didn't want to break up. She said, "If you were to break up with me, I don't know what I would do with my life." All that stuff, like really depressive stuff. So it was too much for an 8th grade boy.
Down bad?
Was she down bad?
Yeah.
She was down bad. She was like, "Oh, you know, my birthday's in April 8th, and we started dating at the end of March." She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it up to Josh when it's his birthday," but she said she couldn't because she was on her period. But she gave it up later, like a couple weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's one thing. First time in my life. That's when I lose my virginity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did not like spending time with her. I spent too much time with her, or she always wanted to spend time with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was allowed to bring her back to my house. My parents were okay with that. And this girl from the library, she's hitting me up.
Mm-hmm.
She's messaging me. And I'm trying to get rid of my girlfriend now. I'm trying to go over and see this other girl. So I tell her, "Hey, look, love, babe, honey, it's raining outside. You should get going. I really have to get started with my homework tonight. I can't be around. I can't have you here for too long." And so I pretty much pushed her out the door, and like she wasn't having it. She was upset. She was sad about me asking her to leave, but I did. And then immediately after she finally turned the corner, I put on my jacket and I go running over to that other girl's house, and like she's down the other corner, so I don't have to worry about like incidentally running into my girlfriend. And I go see her, and I don't remember if I ever kissed this girl yet or not at this point, but we hang out at her house, and then as we are saying goodbye, like she walks me down like 2-3 blocks, and she knows I'm dating. She knows I'm in a relationship. But she is not so friendly about that. She's like, we kiss, and like she encourages it, and I'm like, you know, you just made me cheat. My first time ever cheated.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, good. So that's my first and my last time ever cheating in a relationship.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
uh, I don't know how to pick that up
What do you mean?
or how to like close that off, because that's a pretty bad note to close off with.
Well, I was trying to close on what your mentality was. So how does this how does this form? Well, you're just like
Exactly.
you're hot shit right now.
Yeah. So
Well, at that time, did you feel bad?
no,
So yeah, so you're just giving no fucks.
I did not feel that bad, and I was all I wanted was to get out of that relationship.
Mhm.
So it took like a month or two before I was finally able to like settle her down to be okay with this thought that we should not date.
Yeah.
So we finally split up. And entering into high school, all I'm thinking about is how high school is going to be like 8th grade, but on steroids.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm excited. A whole new pool of women.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I also already started meeting some girls in like 9th grade at this time, both of which actually transferred out. We can talk about it offline. So I met them through like, you know how they would have freshman
for a day.
Freshman for a day. That's what it was
You
called.
met people.
I met one girl when I was in 8th grade by like walking down by the soccer field and like hollering over to a girl.
Oh wow.
And like she was watching soccer and like we exchanged numbers.
Wow.
Something like that. And then I met another girl through my brother being at Roosevelt Catholic, and he was connected to her as a freshman. She was a freshman, and somehow like I made that connection, and we used to chat all the time. So actually, I had both of these girls, button heads, not to date me, not anything like that. I never had any like actual dating interactions with any of these two girls, but button heads because I was originally telling the first girl that I'm going to go to freshman for a day with her, and then I ended up going with the other girl, and so that like the other girl got really pissed off, and you know that made these two butt heads a little bit. So I was excited for high school, to say the least. I got that hint of what it could be like right there, that hey, I'm gonna just continue to fuck around and have my good old time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited to talk about the next round.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, because I didn't know about all this about like your 8th grade, because well, not to get into it too much, but like let's say first meeting you, I wouldn't have gotten that vibe that this guy was like a daddy.
Things changed a lot as we got into high school.
But we'll have to save that.
We'll save that for like
episode.
3 episodes down the line.
Yeah, but we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up. High school. That's gonna be a big episode, I feel like.
Oh man, there's a lot to deconstruct there.
Yeah, we might have to plan like ahead, maybe, just to know what we want to talk about. Just
and get on the same page, because this also as we transition into this, it also becomes a lot more real today. Yeah, because these are people that like we share.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Like when we get into like college stuff, now it's like people that I currently know. Exactly. Like, I don't want to. There's certain things.
Currently know people in high school. We we met each other through high school.
Yeah, yeah.
So we share,
and we know a lot of
like, everything we share today. We didn't know anything about. Yeah, we weren't around for. I didn't know you then. Yeah. I didn't have you on Facebook. I didn't have you on MySpace. I didn't have you on AIM. Yeah. You weren't even a thought yet.
We need to look up when doesn't Facebook show you? Oh, well, you did.
Well, I deleted my Facebook. Yeah,
because I wanted to see when we became friends on Facebook, but I wonder. I have to look if I have any old messages with you. Maybe back like in because it would still be.
It still archives it for you.
That's I think it just shows that you'd be like a deleted user or something, but I could probably infer
which one is me.
I would have to look though, but
that would be fascinating to see our early history. Yeah, before we became lifelong friends who were just trying to get a little closer.
But you know, it'll be exciting because even in high school, a lot of this stuff we weren't really communicating to each other, like about we weren't really talking too much about like dating stuff.
Not at all.
Like even when we became good friends, we mostly were just like hanging out and like goofing off or like talking about school. Like we didn't really get too much in depth. I think maybe later on I started going to you for some advice. But yeah, we'll get into that next time.
Yeah, I don't think things got too personal.
No.
Not for a while.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting.
But that's the whole purpose of this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole purpose here is for us to dig into a little bit more of our personal ends and get to learn a little bit from each other.
Get to
I'm really bad at this microphone thing. I keep moving it out of place.
yeah. I was trying to. What's the name of this podcast? We should talk more.
We should talk more.
Well, guys, thank you for. I was about to press a button to play music, but I won't. Thank you for listening or watching. This is the first episode of We Should Talk More. We have some stuff planned that we'll be filming. So there's stuff in the pipes. Hopefully, when you see this, there'll be tons of episodes, like hundreds. We're backlogging. So like this is it's only like 9 a.m. right now.
Yeah.
So we have like a full day of filming ahead of us.
Yeah, back to back to back. Saturday morning, we're at it.
Yeah.
Like we just partied last night.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, like you see, we're slipping up.
Yeah,
a
that's
little
why
bit
I'm
sometimes.
still hungover right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, like we're going at it right now for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're out here grinding to make the
we're
content
on the
so you can
podcast
be
grind.
hungry. We're
Thirsty.
giving and thirsty, a little thirsty with the content of this episode. But we're gonna like measure it back next episode, give something a little more of value, and it's something that's maybe a little more PG as well.
Yeah.
But thank you for tuning in. Oh, and check me out on Instagram, Joshie Coronel. We got Owls8 Films.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Owls8Films or at johnowls8.mp4.
And check us out on our podcast channel on Instagram called
We Should Talk More Podcast.
Yep. And check out my website, joshcoronel.com.
And check out my website, owls8films.com, work in progress, being made by Joshua Coronel.
It's incredible. And check me out on Twitter, Joshie Coronel.
And I'm also on Twitter at owls8films.
Check John out on YouTube.
At owls8films.
And you can also add me on LinkedIn, Joshua Coronel.
Yes.
John Owls8.
On LinkedIn. All right. We didn't have a formal closing.
Oh yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is like before we get into that, I actually I'll let you handle the rest of the podcast filming. I have to go somewhere.
You do?
I have plans.
We have a couple more episodes to film.
Yeah, but it's like I made plans already. I made plans ahead of this commitment. So I'm figuring you could probably.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Actually, I have my Olympic training to go to. I have
dinner with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh well, yeah. I have a couple mountains to climb. I'm gonna climb Mount Everest today.
Well, yeah, I was thinking you could probably just bang out a few more episodes.
No. I'm actually a little busy. I have a whole mountain to climb.
All right. Well, I'll get going.
Tell The Rock that I said what's up.
No, I mean he probably doesn't want to hear from you after last time. So.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. Good. No. You should just.
No. I actually have a lot of like exercise to do. Right. I have I'm an Olympian and I have shit to work out with. Yeah. So I gotta get climbing. I'll see you later.
See you later. Goodbye.
Yeah, my water. Forgot my water.
All right. Thanks for watching.